Thank you very much for always joining us and sharing your insight as a China strategist, joined us live from London. Now we move on to our next news. The Netherlands has become the first NATO member to contribute to a new funding mechanism to arm Ukraine with U.S. weapons. Dutch Defense Minister Ruben Brekelmans confirmed a €500 million package, around $579 million, will be used to purchase U.S. military equipment, including Patriot missiles. The contribution marks the first step under NATO's Priority Ukraine Requirements List, or PURL, an initiative unveiled by President Donald Trump last month. President Trump said U.S. weapons would be provided to Ukraine but paid for by European allies. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, a former Dutch Prime Minister, praised the move and urged other allies to follow. Rutte has personally written to NATO members to join the burden-sharing plan. U.S. Ambassador to NATO Matthew Whitaker also told that several countries are preparing to join in the coming weeks. Let's listen in to U.S. Ambassador to NATO Matthew Whitaker, what he had to say.
The Dutch are just the first of many. You're going to see a series of announcements in the coming weeks. When we announced this facility that allowed our NATO allies to buy U.S. equipment and provide that to Ukraine for their defense, we had a lot of our allies raise their hand and line up. A lot of them are coming together in groups to pool their money and their resources together to provide these armaments and munitions. And so, it's the whole purpose of NATO, and what makes this alliance the strongest is this platform we have to communicate amongst allies and to really talk about these issues and come up with solutions.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked the Dutch, saying their support will help protect Europe from Russian terror. Now for this discussion, we are joined by Glenn Grant. He's an ex-advisor to Ukrainian Defense Minister, joining us from Latvia. Thank you for joining us today. Good to see you. Now, can you tell us?
Nice.
Thank you. Now, can you tell us how significant is this Netherlands' contribution to NATO's new funding mechanism to support Ukraine?
Well, it's not a surprise that the Netherlands is first, because you will remember that at the beginning of the war they had a plane shot down and many Dutch people were killed, and the Netherlands still has not sort of solved that with Russia. So they have a direct reason for wanting to support Ukraine and against the Russian the Russian actions. Other countries will follow, as you heard, and some of the delay is because some of the things that are going to be purchased, it's not exactly clear how much they'll cost, when they can be delivered, and in what numbers they can be delivered. So you're going to see a bit of a delay with some things. Now this is nothing bad. This is just the fact that the bureaucracy of buying weapons from America and then supplying them to Ukraine is not a simple issue. So it's not going to happen overnight. Other countries will come in over the coming weeks.
And Glenn, now looking at this move by Netherlands, how sustainable is this funding model for NATO in the long term, especially for smaller European members?
Well, I mean, that depends on priorities, doesn't it? I mean, I mean, Europe's got a lot of money. Let's be blunt about it. I mean, you put all the countries in Europe together, and collectively they can afford a huge amount. The question is, of course, is how much enthusiasm there will be for providing hard cash from places like Spain and Italy, and I think that will be less. And of course, those countries are large and they've got money, so you might find that actually this model flounders a bit because not all the NATO countries will actually give as much as it's possible to give. And there are one or two of them that, of course, still need to spend a lot of money on their own defence, like Germany, Finland, countries that can't actually defend themselves properly yet. So I think sustainability is a big question. You're right to ask it, And right at this moment, I don't have a clear answer of how much enthusiasm there'll be.
Thank you very much, Glenn Grant, for joining us today and sharing your insights.